All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for coming along today to help us or to hear us talk about metabolic health and the whole picture and how that pertains to weight loss and what you can do about it. So, what is it? Why is it important? And how can we improve it? So I'm just going to go through a short introduction and then we'll get into the meat of these things. Okay. So my name is Des Gibbs. I'm a personal trainer and I have a training studio in Huntington, West Virginia. So I have always been interested in all things health and wellness. But after a health scare about 10 years ago, I woke up one morning and made breakfast and all of a sudden couldn't walk. It happened about in the course of an hour. I had this severe pain and tingling in my feet, and it just traveled up through my whole body. Went to the hospital. I was there for about 5 days and had no answers. They didn't tell me one thing about, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Everything came back negative. And I was unable to walk at that time. So I left the hospital after 5 days with a huge bill and a walker to actually, I think I was in a wheelchair and then progressed to a walker. So over time and through physical therapy, I'm able to, I regained the strength to walk and ability and I'm back to running and all the physical things I like to do. But after that point, I just realized I would never take my health for granted. So fast forward all these years, about 10, 11 years, I was then introduced to doTERRA as an option for plant-based medicine. And looking back on it now, my husband Tyler and I realized that it was probably chemical induced. What I had done the day before was some deep cleaning and spray painting in our basement. And we think it was probably just the straw that broke the camel's back of the toxins and the overload that I had just been putting my body through, even though I was taking all the precautions necessary. So from that point on, again, I just knew I would never take my health for granted. And then being introduced to all of these natural options and being able to have a tool that I could use for my health, for my clients' health, and my family's to steer clear from toxins as much as possible. It just opened up a whole new world for me. So I also focus on gut health and just there's a whole range of things we can discuss as far as that, but that's a different Zoom for sure. So I can't wait to share this information with you and I'm super excited. So I'm going to toss it over to Nikki and she'll do her introduction.
Okay, so my name is Nikki Thornton, and I have a history on both sides of medicine. My parents worked in the laboratory, and basically that's where I grew up. I went on to do the same. As soon as I graduated high school, I became a phlebotomist because I was always fascinated with medicine in general. And then my aunt became a doctor of acupuncture and oriental medicine, and that was around my 20s. So I just thought it was so amazing how you could really help yourselves naturally. So it really sparked my journey into alternative medicine from there. So then I went on to become a colon hydrotherapist uh, later on and did that for a bit. And then now, like fast forward all these years later, I became a biofeedback technician. And what really interested me in biofeedback and frequency medicine in general was both of my kids were dealing with health issues. And my daughter was had asthma and was on an inhaler and steroid breathing treatments and things like that. And then my son had a high marker for autoimmune. So his ANA was high in his blood work. So I thought, oh my goodness, there's no way. They're too young for this. They were literally in, I would say, first grade and kindergarten, right around that age. And so I was not going to be willing to accept like a short-term answer for their long-term health. So that sparked me into frequency medicine. So I've always had a definite passion for helping people in general. But then understanding how you can help yourself naturally was really the inspiration that fuels why I do biofeedback in general. So I love it for the physical and the emotional health and well-being. So that's me in a little nutshell there.
Still got to
Is that, oh,
figuring out this mute thing. I was muted. Are
oh, okay.
you good?
Yes, I think I'm finished with that part, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of the information we wanted to provide for you today. So first of all, just what is metabolic health, right? If you're here, you probably already have some interest in that, but let's just go over the basics. So good metabolic health means your body can digest and absorb nutrients from the food you eat without these huge spikes in blood sugar, blood fat, and insulin. And it's important to avoid these big spikes because they can contribute to some very unfavorable long-term impacts on your health. But on the other hand, having good metabolic health, it lowers your risk of challenges from those metabolic imbalances. So poor diet, high levels of stress, and a sedentary lifestyle, all the things that are pretty common for Americans these days, negatively impact our metabolic health. So it's really interesting that only 6.8% of the population have optimal metabolic health, which is defined by optimal levels of 5 markers here: blood sugar, triglycerides, HDL cholesterol, blood pressure, and waist circumference, all without using medication. And so the opposite of good metabolic health or optimal is known as metabolic syndrome, where people have 3 or more of the following traits: a waistline of 35 inches for women or larger and 40 for men, a fasting glucose above 100, HDL cholesterol less than 40, triglycerides above 150, and high blood pressure. So there are many ways to measure health and wellness. For some people, it's maybe how they look or how they feel. And then for others, it's the things like I listed above in that list. But truthfully, your health is determined by a lot of factors. Think about how our energy levels are. How do we feel every day? Our exercise habits, our overall diet, stress levels, exposure to toxins, as I've told, like that's really important to me, and just feelings of general well-being. That's all really important. So many of these factors are measured by tests, while others are more subjective and difficult to assess, like how we're feeling, our emotional health, or those energy levels, and they just change day to day. So along with our genes, we face health challenges simply because of the world that we live in, right? High stress jobs, our schedules are jam-packed, and we really have little time for exercise and quality sleep. Then don't even get me started on the access to our processed foods, okay? We know the sad standard American diet lacks many important nutrients needed for just good health. Let alone all the products we use on a daily basis really do increase our exposure to toxins, which again, further endanger our health. But we didn't ask you to come here just to tell you all the bad things, okay? So we have some good things to share with you. So moving on, what can you do today to improve your metabolic health? I first want to focus on 2 foundational layers of what I call the wellness pyramid. As you move through this wellness pyramid, I'm realizing now I should have put that on the slide. You'll learn really foundational principles that build on top of one another, hence the pyramid. So I like to think of it of this wellness pyramid like Jenga blocks, right? If you remove nutrition and exercise, which is the foundation, if you remove that, the rest of the wellness pyramid does not hold up well. It will topple. So because they both, especially the nutrition, impact every other aspect of our health. It's really that important. That's why it's foundational. So lifestyle choices, what we do every day, are really important for our overall wellness. Now, the two biggest factors that slow metabolism are inactivity and poor diet. So poor diet goes beyond just eating high calorie foods. It also factors in the nutrients that we consume. So if you're experiencing a vitamin deficiency, your metabolism is going to struggle. It just will. And lots of people nowadays are vitamin deficient. So this chart shows the number of American adults who aren't reaching their daily nutritional requirements for specific vitamins and minerals. I mean, and the numbers just speak for themselves. 95% of people are missing their vitamin D, right? And you can read down the list. So today's healthy foods are really different. So you might be looking at that and think like, nah, I eat really well. I have a great diet. I'm on point, measure everything, organic, all that. So today's health foods are very different from historically known health foods. So the micronutrients don't necessarily always taste good. And foods have been bred to basically just changed, excuse my dogs, have been changed to taste quote unquote better. Apples are sweeter and they contain higher sugar counts than they used to. And that's happened with a lot of food and fruits over time. So really they have all the good things, a lot of the good things have inadvertently been bred out of food because of the desires and the taste of people nowadays. So even those healthy diets often fail to meet the general standards, and we're just lessening our micronutrients that we really need in our bodies. We're not getting them. But your body really has an amazing capacity to thrive when it's given what it's needed. So even if you're in that position, that doesn't mean you have to stay there. So nutrition, right? Second, I just want to briefly talk about a fitness plan. A fitness plan is super important. It's the next key. So just like with physical fitness, metabolic fitness improves when we put in effort. For example, when someone begins a personal training program, for instance, with me, it's pretty tough. I've seen it. The way they look at me, they're not liking it in the moment, okay? Lots of sweat, maybe some tears, but no blood. But over time, things that were once extremely difficult, literally like walking out of there, like, I don't think I can do this, that maybe was extremely difficult, over time, people are able to complete it with ease. As the weeks go on, it's clear that their physical fitness is improving. They can do things that they never thought they could have done at first. So on the flip side, though, when they go on vacation or maybe circumstances change and they need to take a break, it's obvious, most likely, that their physical fitness will decline. The muscles that they build up, the endurance that they had, they're going to notice that that's not where it once was. So our metabolism is no different. If we make daily choices that support metabolic processes, we will adapt to develop better metabolic fitness. So we might not see our muscles grow, but inside of our bodies, the microscopic machinery involved in converting our fat and glucose to energy just runs more efficiently. It does better. So here's the key. I want to say this. If you leave here not remembering anything else, just remember this. While becoming physically fit requires consistent exercise, becoming metabolically fit involves consistent, smart decisions about our diet, what we eat, when we eat, how to pair foods, our sleep, stress management, physical activity, exposure to hormone disrupting or metabolism disrupting environmental toxins. Our current levels of metabolic fitness is highly dynamic and largely in our control. And I love this quote here under the picture, that we're not healthy or unhealthy, even though we use those words all the time. But rather, I like to look at it as like a journey or this continuum, right? So our choices coupled with our genes determine where we stand every day, either closer to optimal health or further away from it. So let's go back to Nikki and she will discuss how she focuses on improving your metabolic health with her tools.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Okay, so what I really look at is a huge picture for biofeedback, but I'm going to try to condense it and talk about the major things that I look at. So 4 factors that can affect your metabolism, and what I'm looking at in my world is number one, thyroid. And we know that the thyroid plays a major role in metabolism. It produces the hormones that regulate the body's metabolic rate and controls like heart, muscle, digestive system, and brain function. So basically, these hormones that the thyroid creates tells the body how much energy to use. So symptoms of thyroid problems can be like heat and cold sensitivities, like either you're always freezing or you can't regulate your body temperature correctly. And then sluggishness, there's a lot of other things that go along with thyroid dysfunction. The next thing I look at is insulin resistance. And that's basically when the body cells don't respond normally to the insulin or glucose. And what happens is that the sugar can't enter the cells easily. So it builds up in the blood. So then that's toxic. So that's a whole thing that I look at. Then obviously you go on to the hormone imbalance and dysfunction. And then there's depression and trauma that can interrupt your metabolic health overall. But really, these symptoms are just a bigger picture for me for biofeedback, and it begins with, brain dysfunction in general. So I'm really looking at the entire endocrine gland system. I'm looking at the pineal, pituitary, hypothalamus, your limbic, and like the overall picture, especially like to kind of condense it and put it into terms that are maybe, simple to understand. And why I look at these areas is because, like the limbic, for instance, the limbic is that like anxiety, fight or flight. So if you're in that all the time, like you are, anxious or nervous or stressing all the time, why can that interrupt your metabolism? Well, basically, what happens with that is you shoot out cortisol. So it's like that little stress hormone. So what happens when you are shooting out cortisol is you think, okay, once I calm down and I feel like, that threat, whatever it may be, even if it's not a real threat, that's how your body interprets it. You think maybe all your systems calms down too, but really, in actuality, that cortisol stays elevated in your system for a really long period of time. So if you do that all the time, over and over, what happens and why that is dangerous is because you can begin to develop cortisol dysfunction. And then that just is a whole player with the insulin resistance. And cortisol will make you have a lot of cravings, like for salty or fatty or different things like that. So that's how it plays a role in your metabolism. So making sure, like taking a look at your limbic system, then your hypothalamus. If you're in your limbic system and you're fight or flight all the time, you're definitely not, your hypothalamus is not balanced, and that's that rest and digest. So then, that's going to be something bigger with your digestion. You're not absorbing your nutrients and getting all the things out of your food that you need. So when hypothalamus is disrupted, you better bet your pituitary is disrupted. So pituitary is like the manager of like everything that you take in from the energy from your food you eat. That the pituitary has a host of hormones that signal your metabolism. So like some of the symptoms for poor pituitary functioning or malfunctioning is like that weight gain, unexplained weight gain, no matter what you do, high blood pressure, libido issues. And then a really interesting fun fact about that is like it can also begin to affect your optic nerve. So your vision can be poor. You can suffer from headaches. So then I'll look at your like your pineal gland. So most people think about pineal as your circadian rhythms, like your melatonin and serotonin. which are really important. But here's a little fun fact about pineal is you can think of it as your little appetite, built-in appetite suppressor. So if your pineal gland is not functioning properly, then that's going to kick up your cravings. So it's just a whole big picture, definitely, that I look at. And my biofeedback system goes through over 7,000 different things in 39 separate categories. So I'm not just focused on that, but I'm looking at hormones, I'm looking at vitamins and minerals, overall cellular communication to see like what's unique to your metabolic health. Like, why are you having an issue there? And then I work to bring balance and restore harmony to your systems, getting everything back on track. But it goes into so much more than that. It's kind of hard to explain it in a short little time frame, and putting my work on a platform like this, because I go into so many different categories for somebody. So, so yeah, I think that's the skinny of how biofeedback can definitely help your metabolic health.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. So hopefully your head doesn't hurt. But I find it's also interesting. But now we want to show you exactly kind of what we've created as a plan. I'm going to go through my little bit first because it's just talks about how, along with what I said earlier, how I can provide a variety of things for you. And then Nikki will go through hers as well. So first, plans to improve metabolic health. Fitness plans. All right. So online coaching, if you're not local or you don't want to meet in person, I have a private training studio. So it's not a large gym, but if that's still not your thing, online's fine. You will get so much out of it. I tell people, not just because I make money off of it, but it's the best investment you can make. Really, you learn so much. You get increased accountability. You learn about your body, fitness, and health. You get an individualized plan. So you're not going to do the same thing the client before you or the client after you does, because it's personal to your level and what your goals are. Yeah, I give variety. So you're not doing the same moves all the time. I provide nutritional advice. Really within that hour, we can talk about whatever it is you have interest in. And just, they say it's the #1 most underused antidepressant. So if you are struggling with feelings like of that, that is one of the first things a good doctor will tell you is if you're doing, or ask is if you're doing physical activity. So that is one aspect. And then another way is nutrition plan, or yeah, nutrition plans. Okay. So we'll meet and discuss what your body needs based on your height, weight, and activity level. So that would be your personal plan. I'm not going to give you recipes or anything, but we do talk about specifically the macronutrients your body needs to maintain your optimal health. So doTERRA offers 2 product systems to help you maintain a healthy lifestyle. And I'm, again, going to give you the short version of it, but one is focused more on movement and metabolism, which is part of that pyramid I talked about earlier. And the other is on nutrition and digestion. So these systems are safe, effective, and affordable. So you can use them in your daily routine. And honestly, with just minutes a day. So sometimes I hear often people say is like, I just don't have time. Supplementation literally takes minutes daily. So do not use time as an excuse. Okay. So to get a little more into detail on that, first, let's cover the solution for nutrition. Even the best diets I mentioned earlier are deficient in vital nutrients. The Lifelong Vitality Pack, which is the 3 here, was created in the pink, was created to fill those gaps. Each complex blend has a specific job that assists with optimal health. They also contain doTERRA's CPTG essential oils as part of the Lifelong Vitality formula. So each of these products contain ingredients that have multiple benefits. So we're kind of hitting it from all sides. And also you can get this in an affordable way to maintain good health. So to obtain the equivalent of those 3 supplements in the Lifelong Vitality Pack, you would have to purchase about $200 to $300 worth of supplements. The Lifelong Vitality combines several wellness benefits in each product, making it one of the most convenient and cost-effective methods for our healthy lifestyle. My favorite part is that they have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if the products are not delivering for you like you hoped, just call and return it. You get your money back, okay? So vitamins, minerals, and omega fatty acids are very important for your gut lining and lowering inflammation. The Alpha CRS here on the bottom is the antioxidant blend. It'll help you feel younger and healthier longer. Helps protect your cells from free radicals, keeps your body systems running properly. The XE Omega right above it is important for cell growth, brain development, muscle activity, immune function, and joint health. The Microplex VMZ, it's a whole food nutrient supplement with high bioavailability, meaning your body actually recognizes it for those vitamins and nutrients that are in it. And then on the bottom there, I love, like, you probably can't catch me without Terrazyme, okay? So it is a digestive enzyme. A huge percentage of people have low enzyme function in their gut. So a digestive enzyme, it does the important job of breaking down fats, carbs, and proteins. So we almost always have to supplement because that's how our gut is working, okay? I love this digestive enzyme because of a component it has in it that blocks gluten absorption in the gut. And I think that's really important because even if you don't have celiac disease, say you're not like allergic to gluten, but we all have some sensitivity these days because of how they I guess, handle gluten here in the US. A lot of times in other countries, I hear of it often when people go to Europe, they can have bread, no problem. They can have cheese, but how they do it here in the US, there are additives and other issues that do create some sensitivities to it. So that's really important to keep in mind. Diet. All right. This is a whole nother conversation too, but we all know a key to a proper diet, to proper health rather, is a diet or a good diet. Just a few tips I want to share with you. Eating a healthy diet includes fruits, veggies, and whole grains. Avoid the processed foods that contain sugar and refined carbs. Minimize the emotional eating and snacking. Very important. And that may take some mindset work. It takes time. You're not just going to say like, okay, click, I'm in, it takes time. And that's something we work through too. Lastly, extremely important is your protein intake. It is dare I say, the most important macronutrient and crucial for muscle building, managing appetite rather, and helping the body recover after workouts. It provides the body with energy and stamina to perform what it does, building cells and your immune system and all of that. So a study was done in the US for adults over 51, and their analysis found that up to 46% of the oldest participants in the study did not consume enough protein. A third of them were missing 30 grams of protein from their daily diet. And that 30 grams is exactly a serving of this protein from doTERRA. So it's one of my favorites. It is from pasture-fed cows, just a premium whey protein. They also have a vegan blend. 7 grams of fiber. Most people are also deficient in fiber, so that's really great for your health. No gluten. It's naturally sweetened with monk fruit and stevia. Available in chocolate and vanilla vegan as well. So last thing I want to mention here is the system that covers movement and metabolism. So this September, doTERRA is releasing a really amazing new product line to help maximize your metabolism. Only a handful of people got to try it. So you see it there in the picture. I even got the unlabeled version. So literally it's like not bootleg, but like that's how they sent it to me. So it doesn't even have the labels or anything yet, but I'll tell you what I experienced because I tried it for 30 days and what I know about it so far. So the Meta Power is a blend. That's the essential oil, and it comes in a variety of ways to take it, like in a gum, a beadlet, a soft gel, or an essential oil. And it is formulated with grapefruit, lemon, peppermint, ginger, cinnamon bark. And it's just like, I like to call it like willpower in a bottle. Like it's just going to, like, when you feel like you are having a craving, or just to level out those glucose spikes, that's the time to take this, right? So preclinical studies suggest that it supports naturally increasing NAD and NADH levels in your body, which can help normalize those blood glucose levels, promote healthy insulin activity and response, and inhibit the growth of fat cells. So really important. So then we have the Metapower Assist, Metabolic Assist. How does it benefit you? It turns our fast carbs when we eat into slow carbs. So it, again, reduces our mealtime blood glucose spikes, and the blood sugar levels are one of the most significant markers of health. So these levels naturally fluctuate depending on what we're eating and what we're doing, what time of day. But it's really important to know that these constant spikes in your blood sugar are really hard on our body. We really want to shoot for more of like minimum spikes, not straight up and straight down. So I like to think of it as kind of like a roller coaster ride, once or twice, as you get older too, you'll understand this more. But like over and over and over again, it can be rough on the body. So in the same way, those glucose spikes can too. Every once in a while, not a big deal, but you really got to think about how that's affecting your body. And then the Metapower Advantage. So this is actually a collagen, and I completely thought that collagen was just like this buzz thing that was super popular and like brands were jumping on it, but it's actually really crucial to our overall health, and it's something that our body needs. So most collagens only contain 1 or 2 peptide types. This contains 9. So doTERRA really outdid itself and made sure that they were giving us a quality product. Each peptide supports different biological systems, from bone and cartilage strength to skin elasticity. So it's really important that we are taking something quality. And by the time you reach age 50, the NAD plus levels are generally about half of what they were when we were age 20. So hate to tell you, but as we get older, things start to change. So, but these can contribute to various health challenges, difficulties managing weight, decreased energy levels, things like that. So that's why that's something important. It is in fact not just this buzz thing, that they hopped on the bandwagon. So had to adjust my thinking a little bit. So, step 1, get started today. Wellness is a combination of healthy habits and lifestyle choices. This kit here is what most of my clients start with. Recommended products for daily use in order to achieve and maintain a healthy lifestyle. If you want to be the healthiest version of yourself, the best way is just to take charge, start building those foundation and block it up, start build from there. Like I said, every day you make choices that are either going to take you closer to optimal health or further away. So these products in the Healthy Habits kits are really what you need. The Deep Blue is a really amazing rub. It has the Lifelong Vitality Pack and the Terrazyme. It's everything I would suggest a client start with. And if you already have a wholesale account, you can just add the Daily Habits kit to your loyalty rewards order, earn points back from there. But it's a really, really great option. And then just keep in mind that after Nikki runs your scan, she and I will be in communication on exactly what shows, and that'll help us and help me understand how our products can support you. So I'm not just throwing something like super basic at you. While I think this is foundation, I'll have specific products that will help you from what shows on her scan. So that's what we're most excited about, to really give you a specific thing to improve your health overall. Lastly, step 2. Be the first to hear and get your hands on this MetaPower product. So I'm super excited about it. And just honestly talking about metabolic health is something that's really important. I think a lot of people don't understand exactly what it is. That's why we're doing this class. So every year at convention, doTERRA releases several new items all in one kit. So they have the others blocked out here because we don't know what they are. So, but they include all the new ones in a discounted bundle. So the new metabolic product line is part of this bundle. So this year they're going to release the kit on September 15th, only to people who have tickets to view this either in person, and I'll be there, or you can view it virtually. So the virtual ticket is just $35. You can watch, learn about it, see what the other products that are being released, and then you'll have the option to purchase this bundle kit if you'd like, okay? So it's just $35, guarantees you the option to buy this if you want. Otherwise, you'll get it when the rest of the world can get it, which is October 1st. So that is what I've got for you. If you sign up or get your ticket, I'll give you a $20 rebate on your order if you're new, and a free essential oil. And then Nikki's going to talk a little bit about what we've come together to plan here. Okay. You mute.
Oh my gosh, how long have we been doing Zoom? And always it's muted. Okay. Yeah, so the biggest thing and the biggest takeaway from this evening, why Des and I, teamed up, is because this is really unique. Finding someone that complements my biofeedback therapy is something that is so exciting, because she really is so awesome, a little sponge with information and really looking at what your body is doing. That's what she's going to do. So, like with her nutrition and her physical fitness, and with everything that she explained with supplements too, it's a whole coming into a whole lifestyle picture. It's not about like a fast fad diet, like, oh, let me do this for a month and then drop off the face of the planet with everything. But it's more about a whole body lifestyle. And why biofeedback can really help with that is, I just wanted to take a minute because I thought I wanted to add about how I can go into so many different areas with even just releasing addiction. Addiction comes in so many forms, like with eating, drinking, our cell phones, different things like that. So my biofeedback can get into so many different areas. And then releasing that emotional trauma, like I was talking about in the limbic holds that trauma. And often, that trauma is expressed through the various forms of like that emotional eating, things like that. So finding Des and coming together is just like something so exciting, because where my biofeedback can give such specifics to her about your overall health, and then she's going to translate that and put together a fitness and wellness routine for you, and with supplements. And I think that that's what's unique. So even if it's not about purchasing anything tonight, it's even just about this information is like awareness, aware that there is a way to help yourself. And it's not just like, let me get a bunch of emails from somebody I signed up with, and it's like printing out recipes or watching a generic video on working out. But this is really tailored and unique to you. So Des and I came up with a system where it would be 4 consultations with me, like 4 biofeedback scans, and to see what is unique to you and disrupting your metabolic health. And then it's, accountability during that whole time too, and just, checking in, and my feedback to you, like what I am seeing. And then, with Des, obviously she has her fitness and training sessions that's going to complement that. So we're going to work in tandem together so that the whole thing then is very synergistic. So, yeah, so that would be a total of me and Des. Our package together is that $7.95, which is a really amazing price point considering both of our services are completely like, we each have our price point on our own. But yeah, I mean, unless you're just interested in biofeedback separate for something else, because I do a lot of mind, body, emotional, brain balance too. This specifically, I'm only going to work with metabolic health with Des because it's like setting yourself up for success. Like, I don't want to just scan you and say, here's where you have your, challenges. This is what your body's telling me. I want you to like I know if I'm making movement with your metabolic health through frequency, then Des has got me on that back end in physical fitness, nutrition, and supplements. So it becomes a whole picture for you. So yeah, there we go.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's it. So, yeah, if you have any questions, though, I'm going to stop recording in case anyone has questions. Let me stop screen share too. And then